another subject that a lot of couples run into: money. Dun,
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 dun.
dun.
And how we handle that. So I will be totally honest that in the very beginning of our relationship, I was very happy to delegate the paying of the bills and the expenses to my honey. And like when we first got together, we're like, okay, we're a couple, we're a team, we just pool our income into one place. So I would earn whatever and I would deposit it into our account, or I would get a check, or I'd hand it to him. And so pretty much, it was like balls in my honey's court, so we're good. And there was a period of time in our lives to where I'm just going about doing what I usually do, following, my natural inclinations of where to put the money and what to spend. And one of our greatest joys is travel and having travel and experiences and doing things like that. So I'm going about our life and I'm booking this and buying this and doing that. And all is right with the world as far as I'm concerned. But we end up having a little financial moment because my honey
wanted to make sure that she was happy. And so therefore, everything that she wanted to do, it was basically fallout from my experiences prior to her as well, that it just, you have to keep your wife happy. That whole, we think it's total BS now, but that whole happy wife, happy life, that is
out of balance.
Yes.
Out of balance.
Perfect. Out of balance. And so, but that's what I was attempting at first, was to, make sure that I never said no to her. No, we can't really afford that because, this bill is going to come due and this bill is going to, and whatever. And so I let things go to the point of no return, basically. And that was not a good thing. And of course, then I had to say no to her, and that was just, it was no fun anywhere along the line.
But what he discovered, as I talk about in the course, that no is a valid answer.
And she thought that. She felt that. I just never asked. So
that fear of rejection that we all have sometimes, or disappointing our partner, that when you operate from a place of love and you care about your sweetheart and you want them to be okay and you want your world to be okay, you have to allow no in your vocabulary.
Full communication, full, absolute, honest communication is paramount in any successful relationship.
Yes.
Absolutely have to communicate. Otherwise, how are they going to know how you're feeling, what's going on, any of this stuff? And if they care about you as much as you think they do, and you care about them as much as you think you should, then you're going to talk to each other. You have to, because if you don't, then those little, it's a different kind of crack gets in there and starts getting bigger and bigger. So you don't want to do that. You want to communicate, and be honest about it. Don't hide stuff.
Even when it's not pretty, even when it's unpleasant, it is.
And when
life.
I did talk to her, when I had to talk to her about it, it was like no big deal to her. She was like, oh, okay, well then we'll just have to do it this way. And I was like, I was so relieved because she was so open to that possibility, but I had never given her the chance to be open to it. So make sure that you talk. Make sure you talk, because that will open so many more doors for you.
And so here's another little piece. Sometimes you have a situation where you have two people that have a different belief system and a different point of attraction around money. And for example, there was a certain period in our lives when when I had a chance to look at the numbers, it looked like, hey, we're in a position to where we can finally upgrade our home, because we had truly outgrown our space. Everything, all these guys, these instruments that you're seeing, they were pretty much strewn throughout the living room. All of our gear that we have for our studio, it was insane. There was just no place for, it's like our bedroom had the bedroom furniture, but every other room had instruments, had computers, had gear, had storage, had everything. It was nuts. So when I had seen the numbers, I'm like, it's time. I think we're ready to do this. Exactly. So, because I also believe in harmonizing, and you guys are taking the course, and by the way, in the course, for those of you guys who might be seeing this on our website or on YouTube, is Law of Attraction, Love and Relationships Life Coach Certification. So that's the course. And I also talk a little bit about that in Attracting Authentic Relationships for Singles as well. But short version, he was like, no, we are not ready. I was like, hell yeah, we're ready. And so, in the interest of creating harmony and not doing anything that would be a catalyst, if you will, for throwing him out of balance, I just decided quietly to set an intention for the ideal home, in the ideal place, with the ideal setup that we can easily afford. And I started getting this fun little vision of seeing / feeling the idea that someone's gonna want our house and love it exactly as it is. And the piece that I didn't mention, our old house, because we're big fans of Sedona and the Southwest. Sedona, Arizona, by the way, is kind of our second home. We host retreats out there. We love it out there. But we love those colors that you see a lot in the Southwest, of the red rock orange color, gold, and purple. And so our home at that time was painted in all of those colors. We even had, I'm very into a lot of Asian culture. Red is a very auspicious color in Asian culture. And I had my office painted, the entire office, red. John's office, green. Upstairs, green and orange. So it would take a very special person, because a realtor wanting to sell our home, the first thing they would say,
beige.
White, beige. There is no way anyone will buy your house with these kooky, crazy colors. But I had this weird vision that someone's going to walk into our home, love our kooky, crazy colors as is, and fall in love with it. What I didn't know is that person turned out to be my cousin, who's from the north, who loves the cold. I call her the snow miser, by the way, because she loves the cold so much that she came to stay with us in Florida, which was a shock in and of itself, that she even set foot in the state of Florida because of how hot it gets, even sometimes in the wintertime, believe it or not. And said that she really liked it here and wanted to move here. And so we're thinking...
She's visiting us and staying in our house at that time, in our guest room. And she's saying, I like it here. I want to move here. And we're thinking, okay,
wow, Florida, okay.
We'll see about, talking to a realtor or whatever, and looking around and getting some places in the area that are for sale for you to look at. And
she said, no, I like it here. I want your house. By the way, I love the colors. It's so cool to see a home that's got some color and vibrancy in life. You got too much crap. Get out. And
she's subtle.
Yeah, very subtle. Anyone who knows my cousin, and my call her sister cousin. And she paid cash for our house. We never had to put it on the market.
And we've been here how long?
And because of that,
it's still
how it all went down, her paying cash for us to sell our place, it enabled us to be able to find our ideal space with a dedicated space for all of our instruments, a dedicated room for our studio, connection to nature, which for me is so incredibly important. And since 2016,
yeah,
we have been here.
And her place is still those colors.
Yes.
She loved the colors, so she wasn't kidding.
So his belief about money at that moment was no friggin' way. My belief at the moment was, hell yes, we've got this, we can do this, and whatever we need for that to happen with ease and flow can happen. And I held to my belief. Same thing happened when we were preparing to get married, that some of the bills were coming in to pay for the reception and the honeymoon, and at the moment it was looking like, uh-oh, where is this going to come from? And so he was feeling very fearful at that moment. And first of all, in order for me to not also feel fearful, just like we talk about with health and well-being and all the other stuff, I had to stop observing him in that state of mind,
right?
Be in my own space, raise my vibration, and just know and envision in my mind the wedding going exactly as we planned it, having all of the things that we wanted, having all the people we wanted to be there, to be able to attend, to be able to provide for them, to have the dream honeymoon and all of that. And even though we had no physical evidence at that moment, I just kept investing a little bit of time, just knowing and trusting that the money would come no matter what. And so one day, my honey was at work and he opened his desk drawer. And what did you find?
One of those loan checks that you get from, say, a credit card company or whatever, that, you've got this many months to, you've got 12 months at no interest for all, this particular amount and so forth. So yeah, it was a loan check, but it covered.
It was enough to cover everything. So we got to have the full wedding experience that we both wanted. And I say both because it was not just a matter of, I want this, I don't care what you want. That I very much wanted John's input as much as he was willing to give and contribute.
Right.
And we both decided we wanted to go to Hawaii. And so we had our amazing wedding. We had 2 weeks in Hawaii. And we've also been blessed that we've now been to Hawaii 3 times.
At least, yeah.
Yeah. And again, even with different beliefs, different points of attraction at the same time, one person who's in alignment, as our Abraham Hicks fans out there have surely heard Esther Hicks say, one person in alignment is more powerful than millions who are not. If you are the person in alignment in your couple situation, your family situation, your friend situation, your work situation, and you can hold steady in your vision, just like John did for me, when I was going through the stuff that, like the health related and emotional stuff, that there was a point that I was exactly where he was with money, that my belief was, I'm going to be stuck here forever. I can't see a way out. But because he was able to see that this is temporary, that this absolutely will pass, that any difficulty that I've experienced before, even new stuff, anything that I experienced in the past has always passed. And he was able to hold that vision so strongly and solidly. He was a cooperative component for me being able to rise and move forward in my health and well-being. So no matter what your other people in your life, your sweetheart, your family, your friends, da 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 da, whatever their point of attraction is, if you can hold steady to your vision, you can be that light in that relationship.
And they will be thanking you when they realize that you got the two of you to where you're going, because you held that vision, and as long as they're not actively trying to hold you down and sabotage you or anything like that, they're going to be just drawn along with the current that you cause.
Yes.
Because you're going to be flying, and the wind will be blowing behind you, and they'll just come with you. Because then, that's where you're headed, and you want them there with you. So therefore, it's just going to work out, as long as you don't let anybody stop you from believing in yourself.
Amen to that, babe. Yes, high five, dude. Yes.
I'm talking.
So I have one more question. So what would you say, what would you owe to being able for us to be as deeply in love as we are after 23 years? So if I were just some random person and I say, oh, I understand.
You are a very random person.
I am totally a random person. So I would say, wow, I understand you've been married to your wife for 23 years. How did you do that? Do you actually like her? So what's your secret? So John Hartmann, what's your secret to a happy marriage?
Oh my goodness. I don't know that there is any one secret, other than just being true to myself, and allowing you to be you, for both of us to be ourselves. And the fact that we share so many interests, that helps us to walk alongside each other. No, you're not leading and I'm not leading. We're walking along together down that path.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's okay if you lead for a little while sometimes, and I lead for a while for other times, because one of us just doesn't feel like leading. But at the same time, we're going parallel. We're going in the same direction. And as we go in the same direction, and we're enjoying so many of the same things, just me allowing myself to be me, and me allowing yourself to be you, you allowing yourself to be you, and you allowing me to be me, it's just a whole bunch. It's an allowing fest.
It's just natural.
Yeah, I never really thought about it, so I don't know if I've done a very good job of explaining it at this point.
No, I think that's beautiful. And if you were to ask me,
what is your secret to your decades-long relationship?
I would say loving myself first, knowing who I am, knowing what I want, being solid about my core values, and not being willing to compromise those core values.
Oh, totally agree.
Being with someone who shares my core values. That our view of, kind of our worldview, our attitude about life, the universe, and everything is very in sync.
Yeah.
That being with a partner that allows me to be me has done that from day one. That I also encourage you to be you 100%.
Absolutely.
That we allow each other's natural rhythms and flow as individuals, and that we have cultivated a rhythm of our own as a couple, and really just operating from a place of love, letting love lead the relationship, rather than, I talk a lot about love versus attachment, rather than needing you to act a certain way, do certain things, be certain things.
If you
Then
adjust.
for me, you thriving, seeing, and especially getting to see you in a moment where you're experiencing joy, and when you're thriving, you're laughing, you're smiling, your eyes are twinkling. That to me that's the most important gift that I think that we could ever give each other, is that you, first of all, honoring yourself, giving that, extending that love to you, being willing to listen to those gut feelings, to your inner guidance, to the things that are calling you. But when it comes to the other, that you are that precious butterfly that has come into my garden of life that I talk about in the course. And that I have never tried to collect you or capture you. That what I do is I cultivate my garden, I plant the flowers. Basically, I do whatever I can to be in a state of alignment. And then I am honored and overjoyed as I see you continuing to spend time in my garden, in my life. And every morning that I get to wake up and see you there is just, no matter what I've been through in my life, feeling that for me, that this is my greatest gift, and recognizing that every day, never taking it for granted, being open about appreciating this one. I don't keep appreciation a secret. We tell each other we love each other every single day. And it's not, we don't have some little like thing on a wall that we check off. Oh, did I do my quota of this many? Like, the idea of people not saying I love you to the other is kind of astonishing for both of us, that it's just the most natural thing in the world to say. But I think my answer is kind of 45 different things. But if I have to just sum it up, I think you really nailed it. That I get to be me, you get to be you, and that we celebrate and harmonize together, and that we operate from a place of love, first and foremost.
Agreed.
So we can probably go on for a few more days, but we're going to go ahead and wrap right here. Are there any final words that you want to add, Mr. Hartmann, that you'd like to give our friends moving through difficulty and
No, just one little thought that came up at some point that one of the things I appreciate about you is watching your childlike joy in looking at a flower, or watching a caterpillar, crawling along, or watching a butterfly land and take off and so forth. It's like my own little 4-year-old has that wondrous joy all the time. So if you can find that inside of you anywhere about anything, to have that wondrous joy, do it, and do it as often as you can.
Absolutely. And to quote what you said earlier, keep moving forward. That to know and trust that the best days are yet to come. That when you have cultivated a true friendship, a true connection that is based on love with another being, that is the jumping off place where things can only get bigger, better, and even more fabulous, no matter what challenges life may throw at you. So we hope this talk has given you some thoughts and ideas, has maybe even given you some hope that even if you've gone through major stuff in your life, that there is always a way forward. And we would like to say to you, choose love. Communicate with the people you care about. But let them know that how they feel matters. Let yourself know that how you feel matters. And keep choosing love. Here's to moving onward, upward, and forward, to allowing love to blossom and grow and expand in your life, and to living life on fire.